Welcome to the CEDH Nexus.
Welcome to the CEDH Nexus. Today I'm going to be talking about a game played on the CEDH Nexus Super League, and I'm really excited to introduce some of these players and their decks. But first, if you would like or subscribe to our YouTube channel, that'd be great. The more likes and subs that we get, the more content we can recreate. If you also want to catch us on Twitch or on our Discord, all the links will be in the bio. Enough of that. Today's four players are going to be playing Rurikthar Stacks, Brea Consult. Then we have this spicy Thrasios Jessica list. You'll see what it does. And Squirrel Mob is going to be playing a Thrasios Tymna list that also does some pretty fun shenanigans. If you are interested in the CEDH Nexus Super League, please check us out. We use Twitch on a weekly basis during the games. Our last game is going to be this Saturday, so you have to kind of get in there quickly. But for now, that's enough. Let's play some Magic. All right, it's looking like everyone kept their hands. We do have a mulligan from Maestro going down to 6 cards, which is unfortunate because he's going last. But life is what life is. With that said, everyone's giving a thumbs up. And let's get started. We have no pregame effects. And Squirrel Mob's going to draw a card because that's how you play Magic. Hopefully he does something spicy. Here we go. We got a Flooded Strand. Gonna go ahead and crack that immediately. He wants to shortcut because we play Magic and that's what we do. He's gonna play a Bird of Paradise. He's gonna be tapping a Savannah to cast a Bird of Paradise. Carl is going to draw a card, playing a Copperline Gorge into a Soul Ring. Strong play. Maybe he does something else. I think he will. Oh my gosh, it is a Jeweled Lotus, meaning that there is a turn to Rurikthar lurking in the waters. Ugh, we're not playing Magic today. Now we have Combat Wombat drawing a card, and he's going to play a Flooded Strand. Let's see what he does now. Oh, he passes because we are playing Fair Magic indeed. Maestro is also going to play a Marsh Flats, and then he's going to crack it, hopefully getting something great. He gets an Underground Sea. Underground Sea does a Lotus Petal, and Lotus Petal taps for dun 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 dun. Dockside for 2. Underwhelming. All right, he passes the turn. Squirrel untaps, draws a card, and decides to play Exotic Orchard. Taps the bird and the Savannah to play an Incubation Druid. Then he will play an Imperial Seal, because Incubation Druid doesn't foretell what Imperial Seal will get, but you'll find out. Anyways, Mr. Snablars is going to crack the Jeweled Lotus for 3 and tap for 3 to cast a Rurikthar, because turn 2 Rurikthar is a thing. Wow. Combat Wombat is playing Fair Magic by playing a land passing, and Maestro is also playing Fair Magic by playing a land passing. Seems like a fair table. Gonna tap that Savannah to play an Elvish Mystic, and then we're going to tap the Scrubland, tap the Exotic Orchard, tap the Birds of Paradise to cast a Tymna. Everyone passes, and back to Mr. Snablars. I don't really know what you do in this situation for Snablars. You really have everything you need now. Oh, you attack. That's what you do, because Rurikthar makes you attack. Blocks with Dockside. Dockside in the graveyard is like having Dockside in your hand, really. There's no difference, I feel. Combat Wombat is passing again. Land pass, land pass. I feel like he has something in his hand he wants to play at instant speed. Who knows? Foreshadowing. Morphic Pool into a Silas Wren for Maestro. Fair play, slow play, but you know, we have to have something that can block Rurikthar, because taking 6 to the face is just not something I'm willing to do. I understand. Squirrel Mob go ahead and attacks with Tymna, trying to hit Combat Wombat to get that damage in early. He says, go ahead, draw a card. He draws a card. Land taps into a dun 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 Thrasios. And I think that's really good because here we have like a tempo play for him, right? Despite what everyone else is doing, Thrasios is really, really strong, especially into Incubation Druid. There's going to be a Horde of Calling at the end of Squirrel Mob's turn for 1, getting a Sylvan Safekeeper because we like protecting our Rurikthars. Of course, makes sense. Gilded Drake is a thing. Everyone else has access to blue. I get it. Plays a City of Traders. Let's see what he does with that. Taps 3 to cast a Yi-San. Wow. Powerhouse in 2017. Really, really excited to see him out on the battlefield. Attacks with Rurikthar because he got to every turn. He has Vigilance when it is not tapping. The second 3-mana spell is a Shaman of the Forgotten Ways because we're not forgetting 2016 or 17 at all this game. Love it. And Combat Wombat gets in with a Hull Breacher in the end step. Interesting that he did that now and not in response to the Tymna draw. But, you know, you do what you got to do. Misty Rainforest Pass. Wow, Combat is all about not playing magic on his turn. Cool. Maestro draws, he plays a land, he taps a land, another land, one more land for good measure to cast a Jeska. Now, Jeska's really interesting here because Jeska has the ability to just kill things, right? So the options that he has are going to be Elvish Mystic, Birds of Paradise, and the Sylvan Safekeeper. It forces Carl to have to sack a land to keep the Sylvan Safekeeper alive, but he could have also targeted the, he could have targeted the Incubation Druid. In response, obviously Squirrel would be able to adapt the Incubation Druid, but it would be good to make him tap out to do that. It all depends on how you look at it. Now we're going into Squirrel's turn. He's gonna tap for 2 in order to play a card from his hand that costs 3, which looks like a card that may win the game. Freed from the Real. Freed from the Real is really, really crazy here. It's an infinite mana outlet on board. He has infinite mana now. There's a Hull Breacher, which prevents him from drawing. I don't believe it's actually that big of a deal with Thrasios because it just allows you to play all your lands, right? There is a Deadly Rollick targeting the Hull Breacher. Really good play. Try to get rid of it. Let's see what they do. Yeah, crack a land into another land, Tundra.
He has infinite
And this is
mana,
in hopes
so
to do
if
something.
he
Now,
bounds the Hull
I do see a
Breacher, he
deal
can
being
just
made here.
Draw his deck in response
Over
to
the top right.
cast Hull Breacher.
I'm not sure.
I have
do
a
think-
Red Elemental Blast in hand,
I do think he got really.
so I can destroy
cheeky.
the Thrasios.
You would
No, he
blast.
chained the Breacher. In response, I Red Elemental Blast the Thrasios.
Yeah, and then I can cast the Breacher again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That seems like a decent plan.
So the deal here that's really interesting is that Snablars is offering to respond to the Chain of Vapor on Hull Breacher so that at no point Thrasios can do anything, right? So Chain of Vapor on the stack, Red Elemental Blast the Thrasios, it makes it so he can't draw his deck at instant speed. And once priority gets back around to Combat Wombat, when Thrasios is recast, he can just cast Hull Breacher in response and never give Squirrel the opportunity to draw his deck. Really, really, really fun play. It is a little bit of a greedy play from Carl because he had the Red Elemental Blast in hand, so he could have stopped the Free from the Real from coming out, period, right? But sometimes you gotta play it close to the chest. I get it. And this is a tournament, so you know we are playing for all of the marbles. Okay, so Thrasios on the stack. We're gonna go ahead and cast the Hull Breacher. Pray that Squirrel doesn't have it. Hopefully he does not have a counterspell. He doesn't need a counterspell because he's gonna Neoform Thrasios. Now this can grab a multitude of things. Probably looking for a spell, not spell, a creature that does something, but there's gonna be a Tainted Pact in response. The Tainted Pact will grab a Force of Negation. Oh gosh. So Force of Negation is perfect here, right? Because it exiles Neoform. It made Thrasios go away. It's just so good, right? So Thrasios recasted. No one's gonna have a response here. It's gonna resolve. We're gonna go to Carl's turn. So good. Also, remember that Ruruk Thar triggered there, so he did go down to 12. He can only cast 2 more non-creature spells. And Ruruk Thar is going to be coming for Squirrel Mob every turn. Every turn from now on. He does gain 2 life because Tymna has infinite mana, so it's going to be hard to kill Squirrel Mob as long as he's able to maintain infinite mana. It won't last forever, but for now, it's getting him to stay. There is a Finhorn Elves that is cast, and now there's enough power on board for Carl to sneak away with the game if that Shaman of the Forgotten Ways is not dealt with. Mr. Combat Wombat, again, passing without doing anything. He loves playing Magic on other people's turns. Jessica is gonna kill itself and do some damage to a lot of creatures. That Sylvan Safekeeper is gonna definitely protect himself because we want to keep things alive. Oh, he doesn't protect himself. He protects the Yisan. That is super, super smart. And Finhorn Elves will die. He's gonna recast the Jessica, which is super smart here, right? The ability to go ahead and kill everything on the board, which is great. Shaman of the Forgotten Ways, Yisan, again protecting the Yisan, super smart. Shaman of the Forgotten Ways can go. I don't know if I actually don't know if that play was the best play, right? Because all you're doing is you're hurting the other players. There's a win on board, and Squirrel Mob is gonna do something really fun here. He is basically cycling through his entire deck, putting all the lands on the battlefield, giving Combat Wombat all of the draws that he needs to. And then he casts an Enlightened Tutor, which I actually don't think was right, because he can just filter his deck, right? So he can put whatever he wants on top of his library. He can keep in mind what card he wants, and then he can just filter until he hits the card that he wants to have on top of his library. So he didn't need to cast an Enlightened Tutor. He goes ahead and he casts the Destiny Spinner, which is a win con in this deck. If you don't remember, Destiny Spinner can animate lands, which is so amazing. Oh, and then there's a Cyclonic Rift. Oh, so here, this Cyclonic Rift is not the best. It's not the best. Because Cyclonic Rift doesn't do what you need it to do here, because Squirrel Mob still has all of his lands, and all Cyclonic Rift does is it pushes everyone back to the Stone Age. Cast a Null Rod to stop all of the artifacts that were created from the Thrasios draws. Now Squirrel Mob is able to put everything back on the battlefield, and that is super sick. Carl casts his Carpet of Flowers, makes not as much mana as you would hope, and plays a Green Sun Zenith, and he tutors for a Mana Dork, Llanowar tribe in this case, which I guess helps him get back into the game with Ruruk Thar, because we don't want to have anyone casting spells, but it may not help that much. Combat skips his turn automatically because he likes playing Magic on other people's turns. And we go to Maestro. Maestro taps 3. He's gonna cast a Praetor's Grasp in hoping to get a card. And then he plays the card. The card is an Archon of Emeria. And Archon of Emeria is nuts because it does the same thing that Hull Breacher did, except for now people just can't get things that they want. We're back to Squirrel Mob's turn. He plays the Freed. Freed is on the Incubation Druid. He's able to make mana. He attacks to gain life, doesn't draw, and we move to Carl's turn. Llanowar Tribe makes 3 mana. The Carpet of Flowers makes 3 mana, and we're gonna cast the Ruruk Thar. Right, so Ruruk Thar is like a must here. There's no way we can. And in response, Combat plunges for 4 and exiles a few cards. Untaps. Maybe he'll play mana. Maybe he won't. Oh, he casts Brea. Brea is tough because it gets absolutely hosed by Null Rod. Super, super, super hard. Archon of Emeria is on the battlefield. Stylish Wren. We have Squirrel Mob. He is gonna filter his library. Like I said earlier, this is something that you would do, right? Infinite mana into Finale of Devastation is definitely the way to go. Gets the Finale of Devastation, casts Finale of Devastation, makes all his creatures giants. He gets the Destiny Spinner back from, he's gonna take 6 from Murkthar. Gets the Destiny Spinner back from the graveyard. It is a billion creature. He's gonna go ahead and attack with Tymna, Thrasios, the Destiny Spinner. Destiny Spinner can make all the creatures that it needs to make, which is absolutely ridiculous. And everyone says, yeah, you got it. You did it, bud, you did it. You killed us with all the creatures and all the damage. Going wide apparently works. So this game was really interesting. A lot of fun plays. I don't really have too many things that could have been done differently, but I do think that playing close to the chest was needed at the end of the day, and everyone tried to play as tight of a game as possible, but what can you do against infinite mana and Thrasios, really? Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you guys again.